It is 6:56 a.m. Do you know where your children are? I just went down a rabbit hole of finding out where that catchphrase came from. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? And the topic today is knowing where your children are. Do you know? But of course, I'm talking about related to academics, related to them socially and emotionally. So let's jump right on in. Um, I want you to invite a parent who is busy, intentional, a high earning exec, high achieving entrepreneur, a homeschool parent, and maybe an educator, because I know that busy parents want the best for their children. They want them to be successful. And many times when we think about the ways and the reasons for us being busy, it is because we are working to build wealth or to build legacy for our kids. So if that's you, you are in the right place to listen. Um, I know that you want better, right? You hopefully are envisioning the world that they will live in 10, 15, 20 years or beyond. And your better for them is going to be your time. It's not more money. It's not more stuff. I would even say at this point, it's not more opportunities, although those things will come. It is spending your time differently and intentionally spending your time with your children. So I want you to think about the day. Let's just go back to yesterday, all right? If you think about yesterday, I want you to ask yourself or think about how much time, and we're going to quantify this, how much time did you spend with your child? Okay. And think of a number like minutes, hours, seconds. Was it 5 minutes? Was it 10 minutes? Was it an hour? And spending time, for the sake of this conversation, is in a one on one, device free environment. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, my son gets released from school early. Yesterday, my son got released. Okay. Yesterday at my son's school was early release day, but it also was physical therapy day. So we went to physical therapy at 8. At 9, I had a meeting. And so we can choose whether to go to school or not go to school. It's just a couple hours since we were already going to be behind the schedule. We came home and I had some work to do. And when I run back all of yesterday, we had physical therapy, we had work from home. He was home with me all day. We had nap time. We had I had a tutoring session I took. We had work time, and then we transitioned to a parent training that I had for hours. It was incredible, but it was hours long. So when I think about the time that I spent one on one with my son, and I'm not going to count driving or in transition, it was a little bit of time in the morning when we woke up. So I'll give myself 20 minutes and a little bit of cuddle time before we went to sleep. So for me, yesterday was a very low day. Although he was with me more hours than usual, we did not have the time that I know is necessary for his development, for him to grow into a healthy, whole, strong, independent child who knows that his mother loves him, who has great confidence in himself and has great purpose. Yesterday was not a typical day, nor is it a standard of a day to spend the quality of time that we need to spend with our kids. And I share that because not every day is going to be the best day. But the question of do you know where your children is, are you able to have that one-on-one time with them? Building relationship, getting to know them, observing, speaking with them, talking to them, sharing with them, listening to them in order to direct their growth. That is so vitally important. And we're going to talk about this at the Parent Plus Summit. So if you have not already registered, registration is still open. And I woke up this morning, a couple more parents coming in the room. And so I'm very excited. We have dozens of parents and we still have space available. So you are welcome to drop a summit in the chat or slide in my DM. And I would love to get you the link to join. That's on Saturday, October 28th from 12 to 2:30 Central Standard Time. And we will be talking about all the things in a way that you can leave feeling full and feeling positioned and able to thrive as a parent. Okay, let's get back to it. On this call today, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Maybe. Baby boy's waking up. We're going to give it a second. I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and I want you to consider them as you think about carving out and creating more time in your schedule. It is vitally important. Vitally important. If I go in there, I think it's time to wake up. Question number 1, why do you love your children? Don't give me a canned response. I want you to take some time. So write these questions down, plan about 5 minutes, 10 minutes today, and I want you to go through and answer them. Why do you want them to succeed? Okay. Is it that you're coming from a place of fear that they won't? Do you know who they are? And so you're thinking, well, this is what my child was purposed or created to do. So why do you love them? Why do you want them to succeed? What does it look like? So we're going to go just a little bit deeper. Okay. What does that success look like? And I want you to truly think about the person that they are, the people they're surrounded by, the community that they're a part of. What does it look like when they succeed? And then the fourth question, why does it matter? Why is that important? Why is success important? Why is it important to you, important to your family, important to your child, important to maybe important to God? Why is that so important that your child is successful? The reason why I want you to answer these questions is because oftentimes we're operating on what I like to call, and what Elise, one of our speakers on Saturday, has really coined, parenting on autopilot. We're parenting from a place of just going through the cycle, going through the motions. And so I want you to really consider sitting down with me for 15 minutes and getting very clear on your vision for success, the plan for success, and the resources that you will need. I am a master at plugging you in to the resources needed for your child to be successful. And this is in school, but this is also broader than that. It's in life. So developing confidence, making good decisions, securing financial wealth and stability and freedom, ensuring that they feel confident and good about themselves because they have positive, healthy relationships and understand their purpose. Those things are infused into a strong vision for your child's success. So let's go back to this commercial. Do you know where your child is? Do you know where your child is? Do you know where your child is? So I watched back a video that just showed the newscasters who would say it and the celebrities who would say this, and this will be the intro to the 10 o'clock news. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your child is? It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your child is? And if nothing else, it was helping parents be cognizant, be conscious, be aware that they should know. Oh yeah, my child is out, hanging out with friends. My child is at an activity. My child is asleep. But there may have been some people, some parents who were like, I don't know. Or they might have been like, oh my gosh, I don't know. So the sense of awareness is what I want to share with you all today. Do you know where your child is? At school, specifically, let's talk about reading. There are reading levels, okay? Reading levels dictate the words that your child understands. And when I say words, like letter sounds, the vocabulary, so the actual understanding of individual words, and the overall comprehension. Okay, so we're gonna say words, vocabulary, comprehension, and we're talking about reading. A reading level dictates at what level, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because a lot of levels are leveled with letters. Some levels have numbers, but we'll just go with letters. What letter is my child reading at? Which means that informs the books that you may pick up from the library, or that you may buy online, or that you may have them buy from a book fair. And so all of that is important. All those things are important, um, or all those things make important knowing your child's level. So I'm going to leave you with this. I still have a little bit more, but I'm going to leave you with this little nugget. Know your child's level. Okay? If you have a child who is in the second grade, ask your teacher, what is their reading level? And ask your teacher, what is the reading level for this grade? All right? I taught reading for years. Reading is my sweet spot, my jam. I love literacy. I love all things reading, writing, speaking, presenting. I love the things, right? And it's so important for you to know if your child is on level, above level, below level, according to the system of schooling that you have. If you don't know, you don't know. There's nothing you can do to address it, but your knowledge and your awareness is going to help you make decisions about your child's learning, growth, and their needs. This is why it matters, and this is why I use the example of reading. I have had students who thrive, take off, are fantastic with math. And if they're also strong in reading, they really accelerate. I have had students who are phenomenal, excellent at math. If there are challenges with their reading level, when the word problems start coming, when the paragraphs and explanations or scientific knowledge is at play, when other subject areas are brought in and sprinkled on top of arithmetic, there is a struggle. So it's really important that at the same time you may say, well, my child's gonna be math. They're gonna be an engineer, they're gonna be that we make sure that we don't leave reading behind. Reading has to accompany growth in um, any other subject. You cannot excel to the same degree without that reading knowledge and comprehension. If you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I need assistance with reading. My child's behind or above or below or on target, but I want to make sure that they maintain the progress. I would love to sit down with you on a discovery call. One of the pieces of supplemental education is virtual tutoring. The other piece is the parent support. And so I would love to sit down and see how we can make sure that you have what you need and your child has what they need. So I want to talk about decoding briefly. Decoding is actually being able to figure out what the words say, like how they sound. And so I had a student, I remember this second grade student when I was teaching, and this student read beautifully. I mean, I could put any book, almost any level in front of her, and she was able to decode almost effortlessly, just read the words. I mean, I would give her new books. And I said, wow. So she had come from another school into my classroom. And on the surface level, she could read beautifully, decoding. She was able to, I could hear that she could read, she could say what the word said. But comprehension was so very low. We would read a whole page and it would sound like, yeah, all right, you're good. I would ask her, what was that story about? What was that page about? Who was that about? What happened? And there was no comprehension. And it wasn't a reflection of her intelligence. It was that decoding was what she knew as reading. There was no combination of, as I read, I'm thinking about what I'm reading and I'm making meaning. And that is so important. So, decoding is a layer, but without comprehension, decoding just sounds like beautiful reading. It just sounds great. The next thing I want to talk to you about is access. Okay. And I'll use myself as an example. Now, if you ask me, I was supposed to be in a gifted and talented program. I just I just felt it, right? When I was in elementary school and I took the test and I never passed those tests. But what I do know, I could stand today and say I am an excellent test taker. I'm an excellent test taker. And tests require reading, right? And here's why I'm an excellent test taker. I took Spanish in middle school, um, high school, college, spoke it in my adult life. I have been exposed to different books, readings, listening, different cultures, different groups of people. And I'm just wired this way and have developed excellent context clues. Context clues are when you're using, specifically in reading, when you're using the words around a word to figure out what that word means. So let me see if I can pull up and give you an example. The reason why context clues are so amazing when test taking is that even if your level of understanding or comprehension is at a level, if you can understand and piece together, it's like putting the puzzle pieces together for the words around it, you can still make meaning. So here's an example. This is an example that might be on a test, maybe an elementary test, where you're trying to figure out what one word means. It says, Gerald was so hungry that for lunch he consumed 3 sandwiches and a quart of milk. What does consumed mean? So even for a student who does not know the vocabulary word consumed, I know the clues. Okay, he was so hungry. And for lunch, he consumed, whatever that means, 3 sandwiches. Wow, that's a lot. And a quart of milk. Wow, that's a lot of milk. It's our milks in pints, right? So quart is a lot. He consumed 3 sandwiches. Oh, he ate 3 sandwiches. Like ate a lot. So consumed means to eat. Now, consumed, the raw definition is not exactly to eat. But for the sake of this sentence and the work or the question or the test or whatever, that works. Okay? It's enough that the context clues provide meaning to the unknown word. And that's a life skill. So I talked about decoding, which is so important. We need decoding plus comprehension. But decoding plus comprehension with the skill of context clues also gives access. I can't tell you how many tests I get in there, I take them, I ace them. I'm like, whew, I knew the information, but there were so many clues that made sure I was able to double down on knowing the information. And it's super duper important. And then I know I already mentioned comprehension, but I want you to think about, if I have a child who's reading and they're able to decode and they're able to use context clues and we double down, that means we really emphasize, we go hard on this comprehension piece. They're soaking in knowledge and information everywhere that they go, every book that they pick up, every test that they take, every subject that they're immersed in, different content areas, different languages, different experiences. Readers are leaders because they're thinkers. I mean, they're powerful, powerful people. Ask the top billionaires or company owners, or even those who we look at as the highly intelligent. They are absolutely readers. They are absolutely spending time in books. So I want you to work toward building decoding skills, access through those context clues, and comprehension. If you need to save this live, if you need to play it back, if you need to send it to your child's teacher and ask them, what level is my child on? How is their comprehension? Are they able to learn new words? Those things are important. And you can even start light, okay, with this skill. So I want you to build a reader that has decodability, access, and comprehension, but start light. Invite them to read. Model reading. You read for them. Josiah knows, where are my books? Oh, over here. Josiah knows that mommy likes some quiet reading time. So I'll say, do you want to go get a book? I'll curl up with my book on the couch and I'll be reading. Whether or not he joins me at the time or he joins me for the full amount of time, I am modeling that I love silencing everything, opening up a good book, and diving into it. And then Josiah sometimes will bring me a book and he'll read to me or he'll ask me to read to him. So I know that we are already building comprehension. He has a Coco Melon book that he's began to read. I've read it a couple of times, but that boy is sharp with his memory. He really is. I feel like I read that book 2 or 3 times. But he now will pick up the book and he is saying the words that he remembers me saying, which is a form of reading, right? It's retelling. It's not the goal when he's, in middle school, high school, that he's just retelling, but he's able to retell at this level, which is the beginning steps of the reading we want him to do. So reading can occur and happen, look, from the womb, infancy, toddler, aged, early childhood. Okay, that's a sweet spot, 0 to 5 years old. But also in elementary, middle school, and high school, there can be books that you read as a family, books that you read to your children. And if you start to build that skill of decodability, access, and comprehension, because I won't assume that you have it, because I developed some of those skills in adulthood. I would love for you to begin to practice now and then begin to share that love for reading and desire to read with your children, with your kids. I am, okay, this is a sneak peek, right? I am really considering doing a book club in November. And I have a book in mind that I would love for us all to read. And so if you're interested, I'm going to do this with my Parent Plus community. So booking a discovery call, Parent Plus, coming to the Parent Summit, any of those ways you can find more information. But if you are interested, um, book a call and say, hey, I want to learn more about your book club. Because there's something about reading and community, getting different ideas and ways of thinking, and also the built-in motivation and accountability to read. All right, to read. That's all that I have. That's what I have to share. And I hope that you're leaving knowing, all right, I need to know what my child's level is. I need to know where they're at so I can help them get to the next level. And that's going to take intentional time investment. So you may need to pause. You may need to go back to your calendar. You may need to check next week's agenda and slide some things off, out, or around so that you can truly maximize the time that you have face to face with your child and device free. If you're like, I'm thinking I didn't have any time. There was no time when we weren't doing something or TV wasn't on in the back, or start light. Start with 5 to 15 minutes. 5 to 15 minutes, and then grow that into 5 to 15 minute chunks, and then grow that. Okay, we have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. Y'all have an incredible day. Share this with a parent who needs to know their child's level. Do you know where your child is? It's 7:21. Do you know where your child is? If you don't know where your child is, it's never too late to start tracking it, to start paying attention, and to help them succeed in life as they succeed in school. You have a great day. Pass this to a parent you know, and join us on Saturday at the summit. Bye.